chapter 12, what to do with doubt. Are there questions that you wrestle with? Things about God that you don't have fully answered? Maybe a question about something in the Bible that you don't fully understand or you wrestle with. That's okay. What do you do with those things, though? How do you relate to those things? First of all, it's important to note that God, in chapter 12 here, God never asks us to believe without giving sufficient evidence upon which to base our faith. So God has given us evidence on which to believe. He doesn't ask us to blindly believe in him. There is evidence there upon which we can base our faith. But she also goes on and says that God has never removed the possibility of doubt. Our faith rests upon evidence, not on a demonstration. What she's saying here is God does not overwhelm us with absolute proof to the point where there is no possibility of doubt. He leaves open our freedom to choose, gives us enough evidence to believe, enough evidence to see his character revealed and to see and trust in his love. But there are things that we will never fully understand, questions that never will be fully answered. On the next page, quoting Paul, she says, the Apostle Paul exclaims, "Oh, the depths and the riches both of the wisdom and the knowledge of God." So Paul starts off by saying God's riches and his knowledge, his wisdom are incredibly deep, and we can come to them and see them, and we respond with this amazing view of who God is. But then he goes on, he says, "How unsearchable are his judgment and his ways past finding out." If we could fully understand God and everything relating to God, then he would not be fully God. He would be small enough to be understood by us, if that makes sense. Though clouds and darkness are around about him, righteousness and judgment are the foundation of his throne. So Paul blends these two concepts together. There are things about God we can't fully understand, and yet there is enough there that we can trust his love for us. We can so far comprehend his dealings with us and the motives by which he is actuated that we may discern boundless love and mercy united with infinite power. We can understand as much of his purposes as it is for our good to know. And beyond this, we must still trust the hand that is omnipotent, the heart that is full of love. God says it's okay for you to have doubts and questions. He is not intended to take those all away. But what he wants to make sure above and beyond all, the one thing that is absolutely important to the heart of God, is that he demonstrates for you and me that his love and his mercy are unquestionable, that they are boundless for you and for me. So when you have doubts and questions, that's okay. Take them off the shelf, examine them, wrestle with them, question them, but then put them back on the shelf and live your life embracing the knowledge that the God of the universe loves you beyond all measure, that his grace is sufficient for your weakness. His grace is sufficient for your doubts and your questions. And live your life in the embrace of the love of God.